Yeah, it's a different uh, I know like video call service, and the good thing is yeah, Google Meet give us 1 hour just in the free tier. So I used to use this one. Yeah, I will try it again. It's kind of a open source Google Meet alternative. Yeah, to 1 hour. It's not the best. You need to pay them for everything. Okay, let me see what. How is going the module? How is going the challenge that I share with you? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. But don't be scared. It's just something that you will improve. Like new thing always, I like that. Um, Takes some time, but it's like the HTML, CSS modules that you in the beginning probably you don't understand HTML and CSS at all, and now you can do a lot of things with JavaScript. Is the same, um, and Node will be the same. Like with time, you will start to understand more and more, and of course, you need to practice. So that is the most important. Like practice. I will try to share today or tomorrow new challenge to make you practice more, give you like some uh, goals. Yeah, I think we have a new person. Yeah, I know. Yeah. hmm Yeah, yeah. Of course, it's different. Is backend. Until now, you see, you was working everything in the front end, everything in the browser. So now it's like the terminal, the code editor, and you. Um, you will interact with your code through the terminal or through the browser, for example. If you are creating an API server, you will need a browser that may request. Like you remember the get and post that you in the previous module that you do for send data to some yeah service. Like it's the same. Like in the end, you can build your own APIs and do the same. Like yeah, yeah. You like with Node.js, you will understand more about the whole because until now everything was static. Well, not 100% static because in the final project can give some dynamic, making a guess to from to a server, and you can create dynamic content. So it's the same like in this case, we can do our own server and post our data to the server and get our data from the server and replace that external services that we use. Uh, mhm. Yeah, like what was I am a little bit lost with what was the content that you see in the previous module in the in the previous class. Mm-hmm. 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 No mon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what library do you use? Did you use for create the server? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like, do you have any question in that regard? Like anything that you see in that class? Something that is not clear that you want to talk about? And do you talk about the meters? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You should not been talking about the meter in these fair classes. It's kind of a more advanced topic, so yeah, you should not be talking about emitters right now. So, but that was a question or something. Okay. Okay. But any question on the people that is in the call? We are few today, so don't be shy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah, that is because I'm giving you some challenge. Like the previous session, I promised that I will give you more challenge. I have a challenge to share with you, so I will do it today or tomorrow morning, but I will try to do it today, so you can start tonight or tomorrow morning. So, okay, yeah. What is the assignment? Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Create a server using HTTP. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. My challenges are like totally optional, and it's like for you to practice. So you have to focus into the homework and the project, and the challenges are like practice. Yeah, of course. Question about the homework. Something, or through the we can go through the challenge that I give them. Okay, I don't remember what it was this challenge exactly. Let me search. Challenge. Okay, read the JSON file and transform the content to JSON. Okay, I will show you my way to do it. Uh, I need import read file from Node.js fx promises. And let's see that this is a file name. What is happening with the path? No, it doesn't exist. Transactions. Okay, here are my transactions. This was the challenge number one. No? What? Let me see. Let me see what is happening. The Oh, yeah. Because I'm sharing the screen into the stream, not into the call. So can you go to this address? I will share it here in the chat. Yeah, this app is very, I don't know, have sound for everything. Every time that somebody connects, it's like boom, boom. Yes, okay. And you can see my code, my Visual Studio code. Can you confirm? Anybody can confirm if see my code? Ah, okay. So this is the fear. This is the fear. How to say challenge. Let me move this here a little bit. Okay. Now you can see my terminal here, and I will run the challenge, and you can see that all the uh, transactions are here. Yeah, I know. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah, 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 I do it. So you can just listen to me in the stream. Yeah. Sorry. So the challenge, I solved the challenge with this line of code. I'm importing the read file function from Node.js F module, but I'm using the promise version because I like to work with promises. And so to use promises, I'm using the Asina Wait. So I'm creating here something called immediate invocation function expression. So this is a function that is invoked by themselves immediately. And it's a scene here, so I can use await. I use this read file. I wait for the content and parse with JSON object and log to the I log here. We can see here a little bit better. This is the info. You can see all the info here. With console table, sometimes it's easier to see the style of data, or a traditional console log. So this was the fear challenge. The second challenge was print the system console the number of transaction group by target account. So we can do it with a function, say group by, and we can see data. And we can return the data, reduce it. If I call it so, it, and kind of this. Now we don't need the transactions, so let's call grouped and lock the grouped, and we want to if you have those, you can ask questions, and was for target account. Let's see if this were in the field run. No, there are an error in some point here. What? Inspected token. Yeah. Yes. No. Yes and no. Like they are asynchronous, but they the normal version, this version, is asynchronous, but work with callback. But I prefer to work with promises. Uh, it's it's very different because you have to do this. You have to read file, the file name. You have to come on, leave me alone. UTF-8, and now you have to pass a callback. Hi. Okay, let me share again. Yeah, in the chat. Copy link address. I shared it again into the chat. So this is how it look without promises. You manage here, you have to receive here an error, and you have to receive here a data. And you have to control here if error, throw, and do something with your data like here, this. So compare this code to this code. Yeah, so to be honest, I don't work anymore with callbacks. I prefer like, yeah, this is more easy to read, even less code. If I need to control the error, I can add a try catch, put this here, and log error here, and log the error, and that is all. Yeah, like yeah, like no, this continue being asynchronous, but return a promise. So like, because return a promise, I can await for that promise. Or we can use the old way, like do the same. And this, to be honest, is ugly. And you can use then, and you receive the data here, and you can do whatever you want with your data. But for me, continue being ugly, so I prefer use the assign await, because this is using promises. So every function in fx have like the same, but with promises. If you include the fx promises module. So let's see if my solution works. Okay, I don't have to push the item, I have to assign or 0. Let's make it less complicated. Um, no. Let's see. Group by target account, how many? Was by target account, but I need this. Okay. But it still is not working like had to be, because I need to solve this. Now we have the solution. So we can verify one that is cinema, for example, is one of 6. Restaurant, night, bowling alley, night, supermarket, 4. So I think the solution is correct, so we can explain anything that you don't understand. In what line? Okay, let's start in this. So in the previous challenge, I get my transaction in an array. So now I want to group by key. So I'm passing the array of transaction and what key I want to group. So now I'm using reduce because I want one only result. In this case, an object. So I'm passing an empty object like the seed or the initial value of the reduce. So now I'm in line 7. I'm saying, let me put this here. I'm saying that item in key, what? Item in target account is, for example, restaurant. So in the first time that in the first iteration, result is this. It's a empty object, right? Because I'm passing an empty object here. So now I'm saying item in key, item in target account, and we can see the first element target account is restaurant. So now I have something like this. But I'm checking that exists. So existing result, no, doesn't exist yet. So I am assigning 1. But the next time I am assigning the previous plus 1. So now I have restaurant 1. And let's assume the next one was a restaurant 2. So now this is in the next iteration, but in second item, my result is this object, and item is this object, and item in key in the target account is restaurant. So I'm checking result restaurant exists, yes. So return whatever you have plus 1. So I have 1 plus 1, 2. And he continued with the other target account. So the tier 1 is coffee shop. Coffee shop exists in target in the result? No. Okay. Return 1. And the same for every position in the array, and this will increasing depending if I found more restaurant or more coffee shop or more supermarket. And in the end I get this object with the target account and the number of transactions for that target account. I'm using a lot reduce. Question? Reduce is very, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah. Reduce is very important. It's very useful when you have like a collection of data or an array, in this case, and you want to create a single value for that collection of data. For example, could be all the amount, totalized amount. Don't care about target or whatever, just totalized amount. So I can pass here a 0 because I know that amount is an integer or is a number in this case. And I just need to result is equal to result plus item amount. And I will get the total of this. So reduce is very important and is very useful when you have an array and you want to create a unique value from that array. I will continue with the next one, and if you have a question, you can do it. So I was giving an example of create a get balance function like with this signature. So let's use the function here. I have the transaction thing. Now I need to create a get balance function. So the challenge say that the fee is a transaction, and next are categories. Start date and end date. Now what I was asking, print on the system the sum of the transaction group by category, but only in the categories that I'm passing here. So I need to return something that comes from transaction. I can do a filter because I need just a specific set of the transactions, and I would do and say the transaction come on, if categories dot include transaction. Sure. Let's do something better with this. Let's filter just for date. But date, I can compare date because date are object. So let's see. What I'm doing here, I'm filtering the transactions to dispose any transaction that are not into the range. What do this get time? If we see I will search the documentation for that in MDN and paste it. We can see it that get time so there's a definition. Okay, so get time method of date instant return the number of milliseconds for this day, send the epoch. What is defined? Midnight. So this is a constant in software development, the epoch or unique timestamp, like it's January 1, 1970. So this gives me the representation of the date. For example, let's see here in the console how look if I have this date and now I ask for get time, this gives me this number, and this number is way different to this other number because they are different date. This date is this is an older date, so is look, that is lower because it's older, and in that way we can compare numbers to numbers because dates are objects. So let's see what balance until now mean. So I will run again. Get balance is not defined. Why not? Because I don't say the file. Transaction is not defined. Why not? What line? 34. Transactions is here. Is my mistake. What? Get time. Oh, okay. Because here we have a string and we need a date. So we need to convert this string to date field. And after that, order. Okay. This gives me something. What I don't want this. And I don't want this. And it's returning nothing. Why? If the date is greater than start date, and okay, because I need, it's better to do something sometimes. Okay, I create a date object here, and I don't have to do something. I could, let's try this one. What is again? I lost. Why is it not working? Start day and it's end day. Yes, it's time, not date. But it's not working. Let me do something. Oh, I'm running. Okay, let's see what is happening. I have here the date. What is this? True. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now we have just the transaction into the specific date, and we can at the same time filter by categories if the transaction category is into the list. So now I only have eating out and groceries. Let's see, eating out, eating out, eating out, groceries, eating out, groceries, eating out, eating out, eating out, eating out. Yeah, it's perfect. That is my set of data is uh, filtered by date and by category. Now I can use a reducer. I know that what was I was. Mm, it's function, print the console, transaction, grouped by category. So I need an object because it's a grouping function. So now I can do this beautiful code. I prefer use this. And this is the expected result. Yes. Do you understand what I do? What I did? The rest of the people. Merge, merge. Is super clear or is absolutely not clear? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A string, number, or date. Look. This is the documentation for this function. But I can come with the official documentation that I still have open, the constructor, um, parameters. I have a lot of options, but let's see. I, no parameters, and that gives you the current time of your server or your computer. Where are you running the script? A value uh, can be a date string, like in our case, a date object, another date object, numbers, like for example year and the month index. This is starting 0. Year, month index and day, year, month index and hours, and minute, second, millisecond. So there are a lot of options to pass, but we are using this one. And if you pass if you pass, for example, this one, you will get error because the date object will validate and say like, what is this? This is not a time string representation. You need to, yeah, 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 yeah. If you pass something like this, he will say, okay, I will give you this date object, but if you pass whatever you want, they will validate, and if it's something that not make sense, like, yeah, will give you an error. So my solution is totally functional. I'm using filter and reduce again. With filter, I just select the transaction that I want, and that transaction is R, the transaction in the date range, like start date and end date, like transactions that are greater or equal than the starting date and lower or equal than the end date. And at the same time, I'm filtering by category. I know that category is an array, so I use the include method and use the category and combine everything with the if, logical if. So if any of these condition fail, I get a false, and the filter just dispose that transaction. So I only will get the transaction that have these three condition on true. Is the category is in the category array, and the date is between these 2 days. And after that, I reduce that array because filter give me an array. So I reduce an array and using the category. If doesn't exist, create a 0, and if X, and after that I just totalize and return the result. So this will be, my categories are eating out, so it's feed, I say eating out exists, no, okay, 0. Eating out exists, okay, I assign the same thing, and after that I totalize the amount. So it's eating out plus 200, 2300, and after that plus 1800, and going and going and going until I get the result. And like you see, I am not creating extra variables outside my function, so I am not creating global variables or even function variables. If I need a variable, for example, in this case, is to reduce computational time, because I need the time in two places, so it's better just calculate that, so I don't have to do it 2 times. And here is just using the variable that I am passing. And that was the tier challenge. Was just JavaScript plus Node.js with the read file. I think you use JSON parse before. I will try to give you more challenge the next time to use more Node.js functionalities. Yeah, and I say like um, the best option to is here. Like this is official documentation. You can see everything. So, for example, file system. Okay, the promise API. You have the callback API, and you have the synchronous API. In general, okay, every function is have the same name plus uh, the syn part. This block the event loop, so try to don't use it. Never, except for very particular unnecessary use case. Normally, I prefer use the promise version because it's asynchronous and it's very easy to use with Ansible. If you need to work with HTTP module, for example, here is all the documentation. And normally you have mm, examples, like for example, you will need listen. Sometimes you have example, not in every function, but yeah, for example, here show you how to create a basic Node.js server. Documentation is very useful and it's not like any search engine, being Google, whatever you like. But this is a simple server. Do you have questions regarding this task that you have to do? Okay. No more questions? Of my code, what part don't you understand? Okay. The purpose is date is an object. If I can compare two objects like with greater than, lower than, I can compare that object. So I need something to compare. And get time give me the number representation of a date, like I show you here. If I have this date, I create this date. Let's see. Just in case, let start. This is was end date. End date is object. Here is giving me a string because he have to print something, but I can, and let's create the other that was 131, and let's say that is start date. And you just say like start date is greater than end date. this it is working. I think he's converting the to the number, but this is giving me the same. Let's try with the get time to see what happens. Yeah, it's working the same. And do you know why? Because date or the object have a method called value of, and the method value the of the date. For example, I come again. Whoa. I have start date. If I call get value, start date is not defined. I know. Okay. Oh, value. Skip value. And when I am doing the logic evaluation, he had to that evaluation had to be performed using a number. So he called the under the hood the value of, and give me this value. So it's the same under the hood. He's doing value of, and value of under the hood is calling get time, if we can think in that way. So yeah, we actually don't need it, because with date we have that default behavior. So when we are comparing dates, he called the value of to satisfy the logic operator. So okay, we rip off the get time. So here I'm comparing if the transaction date, for example this, is between the start date and end date, that is January 1 and March 31. So this date is February, so February is between January and March, so that is included. So I will, and it's in the categories that I want it enough, yes. So I will get this in the filter. Sports, okay, I don't need to, yeah, this is in the date, but that don't satisfy the sport condition, because it's category and groceries, eating out and groceries, sorry, and the category is sport, so this return false, and this is dispose of my result. Eating out, and it's February, so okay, that return true, so this will return in the filter, after the filter. Groceries, even the time is fine, but the category is not in the list, because it's, oh yeah, it's groceries and eating out, so this will be included in the result. This is not in the categories that I want, not in the categories that I want, this neither, and so on. So I'm comparing the time, if the time is in the range that I want, and if it's in the categories that I want. Maybe here, I don't remember if there are like a category outside the range. But let's modify, oh, okay. This is outside, but it's entertainment, fitness, sport, eating out. This is not included into my result, because satisfies, oh, don't satisfy the date. It's outside, it's April. My end date and March 31. So this condition will be false, therefore this will not execute it. And yeah, whatever, even when it's in the category, this is false and true, false. So this will not include in my result, in my filter result. That is my first step. After I have my transaction, my desired transactions, I am like if I give you a bunch of a pile of paper. The transactions are in paper, printed in paper, and have this in printed. So this is like, hey, can you give me the transaction that have this the time the time is between January 1 and March 31. And what you have to do, you have to take every page in the pile that I give you and verify the date. And as I say, and please, I only need the eating out and groceries. So you take the field page. It's in the range. Yes, it's in the category that I was asked to filter or to return. Yes, okay. You put it in a second pile and you take the second page and do the same. And in the end, you in the end of you check all the pages in the pile that I give you. Maybe you finish with two piles, and the second is small because there are a lot of transaction in the pile, in the original pile, that don't satisfy the condition, are like older than January 1, or are like after March 31, or are in the another category like this, entertainment. So after you give me, oh, these are the transaction that you asked me to give you, and I say, okay, now I need that you totalize the amount of uh, that transaction, but I need by each transaction. So I need the total of eating out and the total of groceries. So you need to take the second pile of pages and start the first one. And what is this? It's eating out. So you put in another page, or I don't know, in a calculator, you put the amount. Second page is eating out. Okay, you plus the new amount. This is no, this is groceries. So okay, you put the amount in another slot. I don't know. And you are using an Excel because you can have several sums there. So you put it in another formula in Excel. And the third page, the fourth page, you do the same. You are totalizing the amount in two columns. That one is eating out and one is groceries. And that is this logic. It's like in the beginning I ask the result star empty. Here is empty. And I asking here, let's see the first one, let's say that is eating out. This eating out exists here in this empty object? No. Okay, give me a 0 and assign in this object the category. So I'm saying that eating out zero. Next line, I say eating out is equal to eating out plus the amount. And what is the amount? The first amount, let's see. This is this one. So now, what is my code? Now is this. And return this object. So the second time that he come here, this is the initial object. So let's say that the next one is a grocery. So you say grocery is in result. I don't see grocery here, so it's 0. So groceries 0. And now you say in groceries put whatever groceries have plus the amount. So let's say that is this. So now this is the value. So next time he go to the next and return this object. And next iteration is like the third transaction. And let's say that is eating out again. So now it's like I told you. Eating out existing result, yes, okay, don't do anything, really don't do anything, and now put whatever is in eating out plus the new amount. So let's say that was this one, and now he put 4 it's 3 100 and return and start to check all the transaction if exists or not. Yeah, after he create the field one, always will go for this branch, so don't do anything, and totalize. We'll put in more value here, more value here, more value here, more value here, and in the end I get that result here, and that is what I print. Yeah, reduce can be like a little bit I don't know, complicated to understand at the beginning, but after you get used to, you start to use it more because it's very useful for dealing with arrays and when you want a unique value. Like in this case, I want this object, and my initial that data is an array, and I'm getting an object, and I'm converting the origin data to a different output with reduce. You can do the same with for, and don't use in filter, and you can put all the logic inside a for. You can do like for index equals 0 to transaction dot len index plus plus, and inside the curly braces you can do if this, and if the category, you can put this exactly in a if, and if this condition value is true, you can do the same this thing, but you have to create the result variable before the for. In the end here you have to return the result. It's the same with a different logic. It's the same logic, just different type of coding. We can do it, for example, con result equal objects. So for Um, I'm doing the same logic here, the same logic here, the same logic here, and in the end, I need to return the result. Okay, my key. This should be index. Come on. Look, it's giving me the same result. With the same logic, I just copy and paste the same logic that I have here. And here is the same logic inside the if. So you can get the same result with different coding styles. But the logic, is the same. Like you copy from my version to this new version, I just copy the same code. So the most important is that you practice, practice the logic, and like you just start to use when you get familiar and comfortable, for example, with filter, with reduce, you will start to use that function, because the code also like can look like clearer. I know that what filter is. When I see a filter in an array, I know that I'm reducing the amount of the element in that array with a condition. And if I see reduce, it's like, okay, I converting that array in something, in a unique value. So even if I don't read the logic here, like for example, if I see the code like this, collapse. If I see this collapse, I can see, oh, it's filtering. I know that the logic here had to be in somehow reducing the amount of transaction. And if I see reduce, I don't see the logic inside, but I know that, okay, it's passing an empty object here, and I don't see the logic, but probably it's taking the elements in the array and doing something and returning an object. But here, I don't see anything. It's like I'm just iterating in the array. So you have to read the logic to understand what is doing. And here, even if I don't look into the logic, just with filter and reduce, I know kind of what is doing this code. So filter and reduce, like when you are the array function, you are giving some hints to the person that read the code. What are you doing with filter, with reduce, with map? If I see a map here, probably I immediately see, okay, it's transforming the original transaction in returning something else, but in the end I have an array, like with different elements, or the element in a different way, and only just return these two elements, but I have an array. But the logic is the same, but sometimes gives you more hints about what is you doing. Okay. If there are no more questions, we can finish here and continue offline. Okay, thank you. Yeah, see you. Bye.